What up, Mr. Saban? No, you did not miss anything. So,
Hi, everybody. This is our first live on YouTube, so there might be some technical difficulties. Just be patient.
so par for the course around our house at 7:30 or 7:25, we get someone knocking on our door wanting to talk about Jeep parts. Third person that has stopped by today. I was doing some work in the garage, so the garage door is open, so that means apparently that's my sign saying we're open for the day. So uh, they were supposed to leave a crankshaft on the trailer. So apparently we have a crankshaft sitting on the trailer that's supposedly brand new in the box. I don't know what it's for, so this will be a mystery we get to figure out together. But every once in a while, I get people stopping by here that say, "Hey, I'm cleaning out my parents' estate, or my husband passed away, and there's these Jeep parts." And 9 times out of 10, they're something I can't use because we don't get into the super old stuff anymore. But anyhow, so what is new, guys? If you don't know who we are, I'm Paul Porter, and this is Carrie Porter. She is the official owner of Discover 4x4 Adventures. So thank you for joining us here on YouTube. So we're trying to grow YouTube a little bit. We had a big focus on Facebook for a little while. Facebook was actually paying me a little bit to make the reels for a short while, and that was kind of helping to offset paying for the bills. And as you guys might know, I quit my job back in August to try to make a go at our business, and so every dollar counts. So we're hoping to kind of make that happen over here on YouTube, and I just think it's maybe a better platform for this type of thing.
I'm trying to figure out the chat, but it won't let me chat unless I create a channel, it says.
Okay, we should be able to just see people comment there. So,
Brian says, looking good, Slim.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, officially down almost 40 pounds now. I still think I look fat in pictures, but I do feel like I look a lot better. Feel a lot healthier. The pants fit better, all that kind of stuff. So Carrie's down, what? 25 pounds. So yeah, it's been a journey, and summertime has been a struggle so far. We're gone a lot, but thanks for that comment. So we are selling a diet program if you want to sign up. I'm just kidding.
Saban says, I found what you lost.
Yeah. I feel that. I know that pain. So, all right. So what is new with us? If you guys have been following along on our social media stuff, Facebook seems to be where we get most interaction. So Carrie posts a lot there lately. We're actually home for 4 weeks. I think we're a week and a half into that. So it's been focused on trying to get the website updated and things like that. So Carrie can tell you about our new partnerships. We have 2 of them, and I'll let her talk about that.
Yeah, so our first partnership I'm excited to talk about is All Roads Taken. All Roads Taken is basically a website where you can track your journey and your adventures, and you can collect badges with those journeys or adventures. They have many different themes to their badges. You could do like a national parks theme, an off-road parks theme, a state theme, and you can partner with them and offer badges to your place of business, or in our case, our events. So they have decided to open up badges to our past events because we know how some people are like me, a type A personality, and you have to check everything off the checklist, otherwise you can't sleep at night. So they've opened up our previous events so you can order badges for those, and you should be able to do that until July 7th. The website again is allroadstaken.com. Create a profile there. If you have any questions about how to use the website, feel free to reach out. They're really helpful. We can help you with anything. Yeah.
Yep.
And if you start attending, or if you come to events in our future, then you'll receive a badge complimentary of attending our event in the future.
Yeah.
So
basically, our plan is to basically have that cost rolled into our ticket price.
Yep.
So, In the past, we've always kind of tried to, on most of our trips, have what I call value add. So kind of maybe just a little surprise when you get there. If you've done our shore to shore, you know at the end of your completion of that, we give you a patch. So we're going to probably work through the rest of the patches we have and then start moving over to the actual badges for those. So yeah, kind of a neat little value add. If you guys have done shore to shore too, you guys know about our donuts, right? Anybody have that experience yet? Yeah, Oscoda has some great donuts.
Yeah.
One of the best apple fritters you might ever have.
Dr. Paul says the website's pretty easy, and the
Good.
donuts are very yummy.
Good.
Yeah. So, and he's also super excited about the badges. Esther, we will be at Smoky Mountain this year. We'll be in the Bullet Point booth working all day, but we'll be discovered by night.
So if you guys go over to our website, you will see I have tried to change a lot of the tab wording to try to make that hopefully a little more friendly and kind of better description as to what those are. We've also moved merchandise over to its own tab now, and I'll let Carrie talk about that here in a second, but I just wanted to also mention the last tab you're going to see on the main page is blogs and media, which I'm going to right now. So we've been adding a few blogs there, but one of those blogs was written actually a couple months ago, and it was talking about the shows that we're going to be at this year with Bullet Point Mounting Solutions. So we have already done Silver Lake Jeep Invasion, Dayton Off-Road Expo, we did more, we did Jeep Beach. What else we have coming up? So we have Toledo Jeep Fest in August here in Ohio and Toledo. We have got Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion right after that. We will be at the Hocking Hills October event doing Bullet Point. We'll also be teaching basically a sample portion of our class for those as well, doing an advanced and a beginner. I believe those tickets just got posted as well. Those you're going to actually get through Hocking Hills podcast website where they sell tickets to the event. You actually buy our classes through their event there rather than through us for those.
And they also have a Sunday trail ride that you can sign up for with us.
Yes, so we will also do a trail ride that weekend at our friends Huntley's property is I think the plan there. Really cool private property that we've kind of made a friendship with a guy that owns some property there, super nice family, and a guy that's becoming a good friend of ours. So I think that's all we have coming up. So kind of just a comment on all that to say with the Smoky Mountain, yes, we will be there again. We should have a good sized crew, and also Toledo Jeep Fest and a few others throughout the year. So if anybody knows of any events, by the way, that aren't terribly far from us, that are possibly after October, before February, those months we're kind of always looking for events to go do. It seems like there's not really much going on. I know everyone always tells me about one, but I believe it's all the way out in either Utah or California, and that's a pretty big investment for us to be able to go out to those. I'm willing to travel if I know that it's a good selling show, like if it's going to be worth our while. So it's hard to,
What show is that?
I don't remember the name of it, but I know last year when I said the same question, I had 2 or 3 people bring up that show. So a few times I heard about it, and every time I looked it up, I'm like, well, I want to say it was in California, and I want to say that it only brings out like 1,000 Jeeps. So I don't know if it's really worth traveling to the other side of the country for.
Yeah, that would be a hard call.
It's a lot of fuel, right?
Oh, look.
Yep. So, okay, what do we have coming up? All right, so Carrie's going to talk to you guys about our new merchandise tab.
All right, so you guys have asked us for new merch for probably at least a year. When we first started, we were gung-ho about getting on top of that and staying on top of that, but honestly, just trying to manage that on our own is just way too time consuming between updating the website and keeping things in stock and just finding the time to print them as I was doing on my own. So we have partnered with Shop Overland Apparel. I almost said Overland Shop Apparel. Overland Shop Apparel, it's a small company, and they Jared and Kayla are the owners. They're husband and wife, and they do an amazing job with managing apparel. So I don't have to keep any stock. They can do one-offs. They have general stock in their store, and then they just print things one-off. They do have a couple of new things that were quick ads. So we've got some flannels that they've added to the website. They've also added some tank tops, and then a couple additional colors of hoodies and whatnot. The plan is to add a new leather patch hat, which I'm super excited for. To add some maybe razor back tank tops for females, and a couple of new shirt designs, but that's something that I have to do. So if anybody wanted to submit a shirt design for Discover 4x4 Adventures, that would be totally fun to have like a fun submission or whatever for shirt design. But anyway, that's just something that I have to work on. But if you feel creative and you want to make a shirt design, you won't hurt my feelings if you send me one. So yeah, so we're excited to work with them. It's going to take a lot off my plate. It's going to take a lot off of Paul's plate as far as updating the website goes, and they just seem like a really nice couple.
Yep, definitely. They're out to help serve, and everything we've talked about, just they make everything super easy. So we absolutely are loving that. Let's see here. Let's see questions.
No questions yet.
So I think to clarify too, when I say events, I'm looking for like off-road type events, like Toledo Jeep Fest, like
Vendor
Dayton Off-Road
shows.
Expo, vendor shows. Yes,
Vendor
So
shows. Yeah.
we have plenty of other shows going on. I believe we'll be involved with Detroit 4 Fest in the fall.
Yes, that's in September.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about YouTube. So you guys are watching us on YouTube. Hopefully you like the way this is working out. You should have seen a couple new videos come out from us this week. Basically a how-to for the bullet point in a 4Runner, and then also just a park review on the campsite we were staying at down in Kentucky. But hoping to get out here soon. Some of the more off-road type content. I'm trying to basically, I don't know, rethink some of the way I do some of that to try to make it a little more interesting to watch rather than just, your typical dash cam footage. More of kind of telling the story of what the weekend involved. I just think that's a lot more interesting to watch, which is great, but it takes a lot more time to edit. So, so bear with me on that. Also trying to get some work done around here in the garage between my vehicle and I've helped out on a few small projects. Not trying to get crazy into working in the garage again, but it's keeping me pretty busy. So keep it. Yeah, if you guys are not following in Virginia.
Yeah, Esther, we got invited to that show and we thought about going, but it's in October and we have an event going on that weekend already. It's the same weekend as one of our shortest shores.
We pretty much don't open up until after Thanksgiving, so I should say Thanksgiving through February is what we're looking for open for shows.
Unless there's a show like at the end of October, right?
We have stuff going every single weekend.
Just kidding.
So let's talk about what is coming up, what we have going on. Like I say, we'll be home for the next 4 weeks, and then we're going to be doing a family vacation. So really the next thing we have going on is going to be Toledo Jeep Fest. That's right in our backyard, so to speak. So we will be at Glass City Crawlers, the club that I used to help run, is actually doing a Friday night welcome event down on Adams Street. So we will be set up there. And then as well, we will be helping with that event throughout the weekend. So if you guys have never been to Toledo Jeep Fest, I know the parade is sold out, but I believe you can still just come be part of the Park and Shine, or even if you don't buy a ticket, you could just come and be part of that and just kind of walk around. There's going to be vendors, food, and just the typical type stuff like that.
And we'll be speaking at Toledo Jeep Fest this year.
Yeah, so at least you got asked. We'll see.
Well, you're a fantastic speaker, so we should do something together.
Okay.
You speak and I'll just smile and nod.
Yeah, right. So if somebody does have Toledo Jeep Fest is looking for one more speaker. If you guys have someone that you can think of that would be interesting to listen to, has some stories to tell, or maybe just does something a little unique. They want to talk about a Jeep, related to Jeeps or off-roading. Hit us a message on that one.
Brian says he's seeing double. He's standing in front of yourself.
Oh, that was me talking about Hollyoaks. So, oh, this is another thing too. Borderline 4x4 Garage on the YouTube is no longer Borderline 4x4. I have officially changed the name over to Discover, just so there's some more fluidity between all of our stuff. Just seems to make sense rather than having to explain every time I mention to people that my YouTube is called Borderline. I have to explain the whole story behind. I used to run a club called Borderline 4x4, and then I kind of put that into Glass City Crawlers, and then essentially I just kept that name for my shop. So.
And I told him if he changed the name, I'd do more stuff with him. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to basically make the page a little bit more of the off-road type content, and then also wanting to do some of our stuff that we teach in our 101, our advanced class. We want to do videos on that kind of stuff too. So that's going to be our focus we're trying to get done on the YouTube channel. All right, enough about the YouTube channel. Vehicle updates, I have that listed on here. Go ahead, she got a question.
Yeah, Alexander Garrick says, interested in your Shore to Shore event, but I've got 3 kids, 8 years old, 5 and 5-year-old twins. Would you recommend bringing the kids?
Yes, I would absolutely recommend bringing the kids. We have not seen a lot of kids on the event, the Shore to Shore specifically, but they're 100% welcome.
PJ, they had their kids on the.
Yeah, so we've had some.
We've
just
had
not
some
a lot.
kids, but they've had fun.
We've had more dogs on the rustic trip than we've had kids.
Yeah.
So kids are absolutely welcome. We do, if we know we have some kids coming, we put together a little packet for them to do on the trails, things to look for.
Like a scavenger hunt packet or whatever.
Thing. Yeah. So.
And the hotel that we stay at Saturday night for the first night for that event has a swimming pool that's open till 10 or 11. So generally we make it in time to go swimming and whatever. So yeah, if you want to bring your kids and that's what your family does, we have no problem with that. We love kiddos. Yeah,
so our rustic event is just that. It's going to be rustic camping, so you're talking vault toilets, no showers, there is pump water, and then the comfort is going to be we go out to eat, and we will also stay in nice hotels along the way. So that comfort trip includes 3 nights in hotels. So the arrival night, then we start the next day, spend the day on the trails. Night 2, we will actually be near the Grayling Houghton Lake area, and then night 3 we will be in Ludington. So
yeah.
And then with the rustic event, we actually officially start that morning at sunrise in Oscoda.
Friday morning.
Well, it depends on which weekend it is. The first morning is sunrise in Oscoda, and then night 1 is spent actually in Grayling, and then night 2 is it's near Arcadia.
It's Healy Lake.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. So yeah, that's the Shore to Shore. So upcoming, we have already sold a handful of the tickets to the rustic and a couple for the comfort, correct, for the fall?
Yeah, we've already got a few tickets sold to those events, both of those, yeah.
I do have kind of big news. I don't know if George is watching, but George McCoy is signed up to come on our Tri-Adventure, and you guys have seen, if you pay attention to our page at all, if you follow, he comments funny stuff. He's a hoot of a guy to be around.
He's super fun to be with. So
he is coming to the Tri-Adventure. So that's our canoeing, not kayaking, canoeing, camping, and overlanding and off-roading event. That's the Tri-Adventure. That's going to be over the holiday weekend. Okay, so let's talk about.
Real quick, say hi to everybody who's tuning in. We got more people tuning in, so just say
hello,
hi.
everybody. So essentially, we have so far just talked about our new partnerships with All Roads, with Shop Apparel, Overland Apparel, sorry, and kind of some of the updates to the website. If you guys go to the website, if you guys are able to, not hop off this, but if you have a laptop or a computer or something, tell me what you guys think about the tab headings on the website. If you had seen it before versus seeing it now, I tried to make some of those a little more clear, and then we actually pulled merchandise out from our one drop down and has its own tab now. So yeah. Oh, one thing we are going to be changing about the website as well is I'm going to make a whole nother page. So right now, if you go to our main page and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see a list of I got to go to it so I can say this right. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's loading. You will see a list of our affiliate links and discounts. So this list is growing some. Cargo Dogs is one we've had just come on board with us, or us on board with them, however you want to word it, but we have a relationship with them now. So I'm going to actually make our own page that's going to have affiliate links and discounts. By the way, the bullet point discount says on there Discover More. That actually has been changed to Discover More 23 for 2023, about 15% off that bullet point. Or come see us at a show, but I'm going to make a page specifically for affiliate links, discounts, and then I'm also going to add there products that we recommend. So basically it's going to be products that over the last 20 years we have come to like and find that are actually useful. I'm very much the type of person that I like to talk about what I've actually seen work out well in real life practice. So, all right. So keep an eye out for that. That change, I probably need another week before that change happens. All right, so let's go back to our events. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say regarding the website, I need help if someone is website savvy. I need help attaching the waiver to our checkout process. We tried doing that a couple of weeks ago, and the waiver plugin, for whatever reason, completely messed up the checkout process on the website. So we were not able to do that. And we would also like to do a scrolling banner at the top, which we don't know how to do. I'm sure Polly could research that. Oh, just kidding. I don't know how to do. But I guess he's gonna do that. So,
okay.
Anyway.
All right. So back to August, we started going through what's coming up. Toledo Jeep Fest. Then down in Hocking Hills, again at our buddy's property down there, we are going to be doing our 101 and our advanced class. I believe the 101 class is already sold out. But we do have a couple more advanced class spots for that weekend. I believe we're going to stay down there that whole week because the following weekend we have another event with our friend Heather, and that is going to be called
Wheel and Heel.
Wheel and Heel, and we will have tickets on our site for that tomorrow. We have the event posted on Facebook, but I don't have tickets live yet. They will be available tomorrow. So that's kind of a unique event. Like I've said in the past, most of our events we'd like to kind of include off-roading and something else to kind of expand maybe your horizons a little bit on something you've never done before, or maybe another hobby that you like. You know, for example, our tri-adventure is canoeing and off-road. When we did Daniel Boone Byway, we spent one day doing the tour stuff. So we spent a day kind of going to popular food places. We spent time hiking, and we spent time doing the underground kayaking, and then spent 2 days on the trails. So with that in mind, the August event down in Hocking Hills is going to be actually, you get a day of healing and a day of off-roading. And the healing could be massage, Reiki, things like that. We're going to offer a yoga in the mornings and a meditation time at night. And then we will also spend time around the campfire. You will be responsible for your own stay and accommodations down there. The ticket really is designed for a couple. You can come as a single person, but pricing is going to be based around 2 massages.
You can bring your best friend.
You could bring your best friend. But it's designed around 2 people. We are going to basically, you get 2 massages with the cost of the ticket and a day of off-roading. We will do one day that's going to be moderate trails, and another day they're going to be a little bit harder trails. So you'll basically get to pick which group you want to be with, and then you'll basically pick your time slot for the other day for your massage. You will take care of your own accommodations, mainly because in Hocking Hills, people might want to camp. You might want to get a hotel. You might want to get a cabin. So there's all kinds of fun things down there in the Hocking Hills area. It's a big honeymoon spot. It's a big place for people to get away for anniversaries and things like that. So kind of a unique event, but we're excited about that. You know, especially if you have potentially a spouse that maybe isn't super big about the off-road and that's your thing, maybe they'll be inclined to come with you and spend the weekend. So that's going to be August 17th through 20th weekend. After that, we will be traveling to Smoky Mountain to sell Bullet Point. The weekend after that is going to be the holiday weekend, and that will be our tri-adventure. And then Detroit 4 Fest will be involved with at Hollyoaks. And then after that will be a few weeks, or sorry, on September 23rd, we have a 101 training course with an advanced training course on the 24th. So we do those back to back. So if somebody was coming in from out of town, we advise that you do our 101 course before doing our advanced course. So you kind of are building that knowledge base and then building on top of that. So we do them back to back because of that. If somebody doesn't want to come in, you can spend day one with us, stay overnight somewhere locally, and stay day two and come do the advanced course with us. Yeah, we have had some people come along to the advanced course and then kind of learn that they probably should have been in the beginner course. So that's why we recommend doing the beginner course first.
We do recommend that you take the beginner course before you take the advanced course. It's kind of just our rule of thumb now.
Yep, so that's going to be September 23rd and 24th. The following weekend is going to be our UP trip, and that is 150% sold out, so totally sold out. We actually have a very large group going for that event. There's going to be, I think, 18 vehicles, so that's going to be a full group. I know that at least one day we will break up into two groups going up to Copper Harbor to make that logistically work out. Then the weekend after that, we will be back at the Hocking Hills event again, like we did last year. Again, Hocking Hills Podcast is a place to get more information on that event. What I think we'll do is I will probably add a link over to their ticket for buying our classes for that. So in the past, we've done kind of 3 classes in a day, 101s, and they're just basically like a 2-hour kind of a smaller version of our class. And I believe those are like $25 or something like that.
They're somewhere around that, yeah.
So that's going to be Hocking Hills, October 5th weekend. And then we're going to start getting into our Shore to Shores and hopefully be towards peak season for the fall colors. By the way, the UP peaks early, so we're hoping to hit colors there too. So we kind of tried to design our fall based around seeing colors at multiple places. So you kind of see we'll work our way north and kind of start working our way south. So Shore to Shore Rustic will be first. We're putting that first this time around to hopefully be a little bit warmer out while we're camping. And then the Comfort will be the following weekend while we're staying in hotels. So if it does start dipping down on the degrees a little bit, we will be comfortable and nice in the hotel rooms at night. Then we start getting into, we are going to travel out to Kansas. And Carrie and I plan on spending 3 weeks in Kansas out there.
Kansas? You mean
Sorry,
Arkansas?
Arkansas, sorry. We looked at Kansas, didn't we?
No,
For the women's? No?
no,
I thought you were looking up there.
no.
Anyway.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. So I said that wrong. We're going to head out to Arkansas for 3 weeks. And Missouri. So we're going to basically be out that way. So first of all is going to be, Carrie's attending a women's event. And then the weekend after, we're actually going to do our big rig trip on November 1st through 5th. So we had talked about doing Black Mountain for the big rig, but I think it just doesn't make sense for us to go all the way to that side of the country, to drive all the way back,
We were gonna go to Leatherwood, the new park
Well, there was some chatter that,
in Harlan.
yeah. But it just doesn't make sense because it's would cost us, $1,000 in fuel to go there and come back. So we're just gonna stay out that way for 3 weeks. So again, big rig we are doing on November 1st through 5th. And our rough plan as of right now is going to be to do Flat Nasty.
Flat and Nasty.
Yeah, Flat Nasty is going to be
And S'more.
first. We'll do one day there, and then we will drive the next morning over to S'more Off-Road Ranch. So yeah, that's in Springfield.
And information for that will be up soon.
Yeah, I will have that posted very soon. I just have to finalize details. Big rig is definitely no frills type event as far as the work we put into it. The ticket is very inexpensive. Essentially, you're paying us for trail guiding and taking you to the good spots, doing the research to figure out what's good and what's worth your time, so you're not wasting time that weekend, hitting the good stuff on the trails. The big rig events, if you're not familiar, are 37-inch tires and lockers required at a minimum, and we try to hit some bigger stuff. You have to be okay with the potential of some body damage. Obviously, we never aim for it, but you know, you're out running with the big boys.
And it's highly suggested that you trailers to a big rig event.
Absolutely.
If not, then you better bash your eyelashes at your buddy if you need to borrow their trailer on the way home.
So, again, that's going to be in Missouri at Flat Nasty and S'more. There is camping on both locations and also cabins on both locations. So I don't know about availability. We have to look into that yet, but yeah, that's going to be the plan for the big rig.
Women's Wheeling Weekend, you want me to touch on that?
Yep, so then the following weekend's going to be Women's Wheeling
Yeah,
Weekend.
so then the weekend after Big Rig is going to be, 2 weekends later, November 16th through the 19th, is going to be our next Women's Wheeling Weekend. It will be at Hot Springs Off-Road Park in Arkansas. I am currently working out accommodations for while we stay at that park. We'll have some tent camping available. It's around the mid-50s at that time of the year, and then there's not a whole lot near or on property for stay, so I'm working with a company in the area who does RV rentals, so they'll bring RV rentals in for us, so we can accommodate people who are attending that event. So we should have the rest of the year's events up on the calendar within the next week or two, or up on the website and up on Facebook. You know, there's just a lot of details to hammer out, and sometimes, you know, it just takes time. So we'll definitely have the rest of those details up for you soon.
Okay, so that puts us into November, and the end of November, excuse me. So pretty much the month of December we have open, and usually that's just a time to focus on spending time with family and the holidays. And we start gearing up for Snow Way Dude. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you've been to one of the Snow Way Dude events. Those average 60 to 80 vehicles at those, usually anywhere between 80 to 140 people we've had. So real good event. This year we are going to be moving our Snow Way Dude 1 week further into the year. So I feel like when we first started the Snow Way probably 5 or 6 years ago, we were always on the edge of like the week of we got snow. And so then we moved it back 2 weeks. And now I feel like, again, we're right on the edge where we're like, hopefully it snows. And usually the week of we get snow, enough to make it interesting. But this year we're going to actually move it back 1 more week, because it seemed like end of February we really got the snow. So we're going to actually move that back to February 16th through 18th. So February 16th through 18th, you can mark your calendars for that. My plan is to have Snow Way Dude tickets out by August. Again, with all these events we put on, we're always dealing with multiple parties on the other end and giving us pricing and all the details worked out. So this depends on how bad the people on the other end want to do their job a lot of times. So we play a lot of phone tag, a lot of emails back and forth, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'll be exciting. We are actually talking about, just on a personal end, we're going to probably go out to the King of the Hammers, and we hope to actually help with one of the teams out there the week prior, so that should be pretty fun. And then we start getting into doing everything all over again, Dayton Off-Road Expo and Spring Shore to Shores, and the list goes on. So, I know that Dick Wooden, I believe, posted up some event ideas and locations, and I appreciate that. We will definitely be looking at some of those
For
as
next year.
potentials for next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, if anybody has any suggestions or requests for events, yeah, just go ahead and shoot us a message or an email and let us know what you wanna see, where you wanna go.
As you guys can see, the schedule is very full, but I wouldn't mind trying some other new stuff as well. There's just always so much we can do. One thing we're thinking about for next year, and tell me your comments, comment about this, tell me what you think. Looks like we got some good thumbs up for Snow Way, dude. So next year, we're gonna try to do the Moab and Colorado event again. So this year we posted it up, and I know it's a very expensive ticket, but keep in mind that ticket is including, the way we had it, was including Airbnbs, dinner every night, trail guiding,
Breakfast in the morning.
breakfast in the morning. It was gonna be a very top-notch type ticket. So that's why the cost was reflecting that. Also, if you guys have ever been out west, things out west are just, they're a lot pricier. You know, you're talking about the mecca of off-roading areas, so prices are definitely higher out there. So somebody go to Google for me and type in, what is the average cost for trail guiding for off-roading in Moab? And tell me what it says. Curious as to what they're gonna say. But so our thought process is that maybe next year we go out and we will basically offer, you know, like for example, let's say July 1st, we will be doing, I don't know, say Moab Rim, or I don't know, whatever trail we decide. Yeah. So, and then basically you guys can choose to buy a ticket for that day, and then essentially you'll take care of your own accommodations, your own food. We'll just be out there as trail guides. So, yeah, whoever does, if anybody looks up the Google, let me know what the Google says about guiding in Moab or Colorado. So, we have some friends that are out in Colorado right now, and that's pretty exciting. They're doing a lot of cool trails, so it's been fun to watch their stuff, the Denners.
Yeah.
So.
Doing some cool things.
So, yeah.
They did Moab.
Yep, Moab and Colorado, kind of our same trip we did a year and a half ago, or a year ago, I guess it's been right now. Pretty much
Year
we
this
were out
week.
there. Yep.
I just shared my memories.
So, all right. Let's see. What else do we have written down here? Oh, we're going to talk about some of our past trips. So I will start with Kentucky. Kentucky, I don't know if Jason's on here. When we got done with that trip, Jason
Brand's
said,
on here.
I see Brant there, yep. I was just gonna comment on, when we got done with that trip, well, Brant, you can comment, what you thought of, sorry, reading Brian's comment. Brant, comment about what you thought of, the Kentucky trip. What I was gonna say was Jason came up to me at the end, he said out of all the trips he's done, it was in the top 2 trips he's ever been on, and they've been off-roading for roughly 4 or 5 years now, and they're pretty active as far as off-roading. So really good trip. I was super happy with the way it went. We had a really good group of people. We got to experience a lot. Every day was packed. Our campfire time was just awesome. I really enjoyed the week, or the weekend, I should say.
Dr. Paul says Moab full day trip is $550.
Okay.
And that's per vehicle.
Yeah, so $550 per vehicle. So you can see, again, we were including Airbnbs and breakfast and dinner every day for, what were we, 6 days? Our price was around $6,000, and that was including all those extras. So we worked it out. Our guiding was a quarter of that cost. So So back to Brian's question asking about PA. I would give PA a try again. I've done it once or twice. Twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it twice and I have not been super impressed personally. It's decent. I guess my struggle with PA is they close so early. Most of the parks close by like 5 p.m.
Yeah, unless they've changed that since we've been there.
Right.
But yeah, that was super frustrating.
And then they don't open until 10, so you're traveling so far. Yeah, I don't know. And the haul roads, it's hard to get around. The haul roads were just these rocks like this. It was just really slow moving getting anywhere. I don't know. I guess I should give it another try, but I guess I'm not too excited about PA to be honest. So, all right. Yeah, so my thoughts on Daniel Boone Byway, I'll tell you that in case you're going to go there even on your own. I went there saying it was a trail level 4 to 5, and I would still stick with that opinion after doing the full loop. Definitely some of the trails on the far northeast side were a little more challenging. There is kind of a spot in the west side that is photographed a lot where it's kind of a smaller, it's a small as far as it's not very long, a rock garden area. You kind of climb over one especially large rock that if you don't have a decent lift and stuff, you're bottoming out on. But there's a couple deep mud hole areas, so it's kind of one of those areas, trails that if it has rained and it's muddy out, it's going to make it a lot more challenging than it was dry. We kind of got fortunate in the regards that it was pretty dry the week we were there. We got rain the night we showed up, but overall it was pretty dry compared to the way it's normally down there.
There's a couple of muddy hills that can definitely be tricky if the weather is calling for quite a bit of rain.
Yeah.
But it was definitely some fun trails. It was super beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, we had interesting times both days. So it was good.
Yep.
Chris says Bourbon and Boulders in Kentucky, Tennessee.
So you have mentioned that idea a few times, and I've thought about that idea, and I think I could totally pull that together, especially with us having a decent amount of experience in the Tennessee and Kentucky areas. So I guess if you're willing to give me your event name, I know that was kind of your idea from the past 3 or 4 years now. You have to tell me if you're okay with me using that name. That's definitely something I think would be fun to put together. In my mind, I have it. I've given it some thought. I think to me, it'd be kind of cool to spend a day out on the trails and do some decent trails, like as far as difficulty level, and then come back and actually have like a bourbon tasting, and then obviously maybe a spread for other people that are into whiskeys and bourbons. But yeah, I think that's a neat idea.
Chris says that would be his incentive to get the Banshee done.
I tell you what,
You've had a lot of incentive. But if that's what it takes, I guess Polly will drink some bourbon for you.
Right.
Brian says Roush Creek is definitely in his top 3.
Top 3 trips you've ever been on, I'm assuming that means, yeah.
So Esther asked where we were in Kentucky.
Yes, so the Daniel Boone, we stayed in Slade, and we chose Slade because number one, it's just an area that has a lot to do, and number two, it's pretty much dead center in the Daniel Boone Byway loop. So we home-based. I did a YouTube video about the campground we stayed at. I just posted tonight. But that little campground we stayed at, there's a bunch of other campgrounds in the area, but it just, we like to be a little bit off the beaten path, so we're not around, we just like a little bit quieter environment, and so the campground we found, I think, worked out pretty good for that. Yeah, stayed in Slade. Slade has a ton to do, tons of good food, good coffee shop. It's a huge area for hikers, climbers, and rock climbers, like as far as actually physically climbing with your body, not your vehicle. So Slade is a really cool area. So even if you're not going to off-road, Slade is just a neat area to go visit. Natural Bridge is a pretty mild hike that I would definitely advise taking the hike up and down. If you don't want to do both ways, we had some people in our group, they have a lift, like a ski lift, that'll take you up to the top, and then it's just a short walk over to the natural bridge. And then you can also ride back down, or you can buy just a one-way pass and either walk up and ride down, or ride up and walk down. So it's about 1.25 hike, 1.25 mile
Yeah,
hike
1.25 mile hike,
each way.
all uphill.
Well, the up is uphill the entire time, yes.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Carrie's dad, they're now working with us, and he smoked, I think, him and Gail, his wife, smoked everybody doing that
I
hike
think
up.
they were racing to see who
Yeah.
could make it to the top of the
They beat us up to the
bridge.
top by a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For, they're in phenomenal condition, so.
Yeah. I left my inhaler at home. So Broncos R Us says, what about Leatherwood Off-Road Park?
Yeah, so Leatherwood is definitely in the talks. That'll probably be our spring. I'm gonna probably get that on the calendar sooner than later, so other stuff doesn't knock it out of the way. I'll probably put that on the spring.
For big rigs?
Big rig, yeah. That'll be our big rig for the
We
spring.
had hoped to do that for the fall big rig, but because we're gonna be down in Arkansas, S'more and Flat and Nasty just makes much more sense. So Leatherwood in the spring.
Anybody ever heard of Flat Nasty? If you look up, Ultimate Adventure was there 8 years ago. So we watched a video on it last night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was quite interesting because it's just it's interesting to me how vehicles have progressed.
Yeah.
Like, you look at 8 years ago, Ultimate Adventure was always like those are the big guys, the big dogs. And I would say the average tire we were seeing in those videos was like 35, 37 inch tires. Now everybody's running on 40s and 42s in that world, And even Carrie commented, she's like, it's interesting to see how rough and rustic the vehicles are compared to nowadays vehicles. They've got these nice fancy wraps. Back then it was just slap a sticker on it and call it good for your representative company. So.
Yeah.
Things have definitely changed a lot. I would say that like the JK has played a huge part in that. I think in that video we watched, again, it was 8 years old, so there was
only one JK.
one JK in the whole group, and now you would see half the group would be JKs. So
Yeah.
and now
It's a fun video.
JLs. So yeah,
Yeah.
fun video. So it kind of gives us a cool idea of some of the stuff to expect there. We're more familiar with S'more. We've spent a decent amount of time there, so. I think that's where we're gonna go for the second half of the weekend. So they're about an hour and a half apart, the two places. And again, that's gonna be in the early November, first weekend in November.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna actually go out on Wednesday, spend our first day at Flat Nasty on Thursday. Friday, we will drive to S'more, spend the afternoon, evening off-roading. And then Saturday also off-road S'more, and Sunday drive home. I will have that up again. That'll be up for sure within a week.
2 weeks.
Within a,
It was 2 weeks.
she said give us 2 weeks.
If you have it up in a week, that's awesome.
Wheel to Hill will 100% be up tomorrow. We've been kind of dragging our feet trying to work out how we want to do tickets on that.
Anybody have any questions for us? I see a lot of comments. Brown Mountain in North Carolina. I'm not sure I know where Brown Mountain is. Snowway Dude is awesome. Thank you, Bradley. I don't see any other questions.
Lots of good comments. Thanks for the interaction, guys.
Yeah, you want to talk about vehicle updates?
Yeah, so vehicle updates. We're on the fence on some of the ideas. So we went up to pre-run for our UP trip. So we spent, between our shortest shores, we spent 3 days going up to the UP and trying to pre-run for that. what,
We took the Toyota up.
yeah, so we took the Toyota because that's what we use on our shorter shores. And the Toyota is definitely fully more than capable enough to do our shorter shore events. On a 1 to 10 scale, I'm gonna rate those trails as a 2.5, maybe 3 if it's been wet out. But so fairly, they're not super hard. So the Sequoia is our Toyota. It's on a 34-inch tire, 4-inch lift, no lockers, so open differentials, V8. It's heavy, big, but we did that on purpose to hold all of our gear. So pre-running up in the UP, we wanted to try to do some spots I had found that were a little more challenging than normal. So maybe pushing, maybe a level 4. And the Sequoia it struggled on some of those. So I'm toying with the idea of, we bought a 2008 Jeep JK. I'm toying with the idea of building that into our overland vehicle. Basically put it on either a 34, 35-inch tire, maybe as small as a 33. I think like all the trails we did in Kentucky and the Daniel Boone Byway anyway, something on 33s to 35s would be totally capable of doing all of that.
30.
She says 35s. So that's fine. We just need to do some upgrading in the axles and things like that to build it to that point. So we got a really good deal on that Jeep, so I don't mind sinking $6,000 into it. I don't think we'll be really upside down at that much. So maybe just, it's got a rough country lift on it, so I'm thinking,
You definitely need to update the lift.
yeah, not a fan of the rough country lift. It's like super soft, but it's got some mechanical things. That's why we got a good deal on it. Needs a new PC on it, runs and drives, but it goes into limp mode from time to time. I just did brakes on it today. I'm putting exhaust on it after this live.
It's got an oil leak. So
Yeah,
the
so
gasket for the oil pan.
No, it's the oil pan's rusting out. So the oil pan is rusting through currently, so I got a new oil pan for it. Just some mechanical things, nothing, no big deals. I gotta decide if I'm gonna keep those axles. If we are gonna keep the axles, I gotta do some work on the axles, like seals and U-joints and things like that. But so I think the thought is, anyhow, with all that, is to probably, I'll still continue to use the Sequoia in the meantime, but eventually we will probably build up that JKU to be our overland / mild trail vehicle. Then we'll still have our other JKU on 40s and tons and LS and all that. That'll be our main off-road vehicle, along with the YJ on 42s currently, and I have 40-inch stickies waiting to go on it. So I'm actually going to go down tire size on the YJ.
Brian's asking what's up with Papa.
Yeah, so before the big rig event, Tackett's Revenge, I fixed the transmission where the transfer case had actually ripped some of the bolts out of the back of the transmission, and some of them came loose. So I drilled and tapped and went to a larger bolt, went to a grade 8, went to an Allen head so I could get, it's a super tight fit to get a wrench on them. So I went to an Allen head so I could really crank them down tight. I put red Loctite on them. I did everything that I thought would be necessary to hold it all together. And by the end of our big rig event, big rig event down in Tackett Creek, that started separating again, and some of my bolts stripped the aluminum out again. So I have since then bought a Atlas support, but I need to fix the transmission. If you guys see something cool too, I really want to move all of the parts that are in the YJ over to something cool. So this past week we saw King of the Hammers 2 buggy frame that my buddy John Sherwin sent, and I really toyed with that idea to toss everything in there, because it was actually set up for the LS platform and the Atlas transfer case, and I would have pretty much had to buy that, pull stuff off the YJ, axles, engine trans, all the driveline stuff, but then I would just have to buy suspension, which would have been another $6 to $10 grand, depending on which way I went with that. But yeah, so anyhow, all that to say, I'm considering I'd like to put those parts into something different. So different, maybe a Scout.
Brian's saying a Bronco.
I mean, if you can find me a Bronco, an EB, 100%.
We can't afford an EB. But isn't that kind of sacrilegious, like putting an LS in a Bronco?
It's in a Jeep right now.
I know, but I think Ford and Chevy have a bigger, like, rivalry than, Yeah.
Just make Brian happy. He would like it.
he just winked at you.
I think that means he likes the idea of the LS. So yeah, we
Yeah,
if you can find me a Bronco that's not a totally, I mean, if you find a body that's not rotted out, you're gonna spend $20,000, and that just doesn't make sense for going to, it's gonna be our harder off-road trail vehicle. So
Dan says an Explorer, winky face.
I guess it's different, but I don't know. I want something old. I guess 80s can be old, 90s can be old, but I don't know. I guess I envision like a Scout
or a Scrambler.
Yeah, or a Jeepster, or honestly, I would literally like to do a K truck too if I could find something like a short bed. But again, those are hard to find that are clean. Again, I just don't know at least in the Toledo area, I can't think of one person that truly, legitimately hard trail off-roads a K truck.
Fielder had his truck for sale.
He did, and that's too pretty.
Well, I mean, technically it used to be your truck. Aren't they all pretty when they start?
Yeah.
Right, Brian?
I would love a bobbed K truck. I think that would be awesome. But Scrambler would be cool too. Brant mentions it would just have to be a bobbed bed, which I actually looked at one for a little while, and I drug my feet on it. A week later, it was gone. Yeah, the Scrambler, it's just like driving the new JTs. That back end of that bed just hangs over way too long for a legitimate super hard off-roader vehicle. So, and Scramblers too, they've gone, if they're in good condition, they have gone through the roof. And the one I found was actually a bobbed bed, and it was only, I think, $3,000, but it actually was cheaper because it had been cut up, and I think that kind of hurt the value of it. I'm assuming Mom's Spaghetti is a build, Brian?
A Patrol. You gotta send a picture of a Patrol, because I guess I don't know what that is.
I would do an F-150 short bed, an older one. I can't think of any Nissan that would be worthy of.
I would do a Bug.
What
I've
kind of
always
bug?
wanted a Bug, a VW Bug. That would be fun.
Yeah. Maybe. I just think you're. Nissan Patrol. Yes.
Oh, Nissan. That's right.
If you can find one. Land Cruiser would be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that. They're big too, though. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen the Rockstar Garage Bug. It's pretty cool. I've heard it's difficult to wheel. I've never wheeled it before, but it's definitely pretty cool looking. All right, so I think that's it for everything that we had on our list. Anybody else have any other questions or anything before we kind of wrap this up?
Oh, if you do have a friend that wants a Sequoia,
Yeah.
you Toyota people.
Yeah, you got a Toyota friend that wants a lifted Sequoia on 33s.
Fours, yes.
34s? Oh, I thought it was 33s, but. Short van. I would love a short van. A Chevy Astro with the split door in the
They're
back.
asking if there's any updates on Holly. So we don't have any inside information just outside of what we read today, so
Yeah.
we should talk about Holly. So if you guys aren't familiar with Mischief Maker, Holly, she has a good YouTube channel and is always out doing stuff. She was with Rockstar Garage for a little while, left them a couple years ago, and then been out doing her own stuff for the last couple years. But definitely go check out Mischief Maker Holly. We got to meet her 2 years ago, roughly. So we off-roaded with her in Indiana anyway. Carrie was part of a girls' event. She came out. They were both trail leaders at. But so we got to meet her a couple times in person. Super sweet person, legitimately awesome couple. Her and her husband.
She's always been super supportive of everything we've done.
Yeah,
especially
she's just
for women's
supportive of all.
events, yeah.
So last Women's Wheeling Weekend, she actually donated some stuff for our raffle and things like that. So she's always she's just a good person. I mean, outside of the off-road world, just a good, genuine,
Yeah,
sweethearted person. So
yeah.
all that said, yesterday she was in a side.
Not yesterday. Yes, the GoFundMe was posted yesterday.
Okay, it's
It
the
was
day
last
before,
week.
right? So okay, whatever. A couple days ago, I don't even know
Yeah.
exactly what date. I'm just going off what you told me.
Yeah.
So Carrie's been keeping up on everything. You want to talk about it then?
I just know that she was in an accident that caused her a spinal injury. She's got a long road of recovery ahead of her, some therapy and, you know, just a lot of medical bills and stuff. So there has been a GoFundMe started for her. I've shared the GoFundMe earlier today. I'll share it again probably tomorrow, just so people can help her out with her medical fund. You know, those of us who are self-employed know that medical insurance is expensive when you're paying for it for yourself out of your pocket, and so there's just a lot of cost involved with medical. So we just want to support her and just say that you keep her in your prayers, and if you feel up to it, maybe donate some money to help her with her medical costs.
Yeah. So I think the story is that she was in a side-by-side that did a jump, and all the safety precaution stuff was there, you know, but just happened to be her
It
back.
just jarred her the wrong way.
Yeah,
when
jarred her
she
the wrong way.
landed.
So essentially, she has a broken back. She'll be immobile for like 6 weeks to start with, and then the long road of recovery after that. So normally she's the person that's out every 3 or 4 weeks. She's out doing stuff. She built a King of the Hammers vehicle last year.
She does a lot with Tread Lightly
Yeah, does a lot with tread
and
lately.
Onyx Off Road.
So, yeah, if you guys don't check out her videos yet, that's another way that if you don't have money to give, go and watch some of her YouTube.
Right,
There's
yeah.
a little bit of revenue there.
You can buy merch from her.
Yep.
You can share the GoFundMe. You can share her YouTube for people who haven't watched it. Yeah, so those are just all ways that you can support her when she's going through this struggle.
Yep, so definitely go check out Mischief Maker Holly and see what you can do to help.
Yeah. So.
I guess that's it. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to PM us. If you have any event ideas, feel free to PM us. If you have any questions on our trip, go to our event first at discover4x4adventures.com. And if you do not get the answers to your questions regarding details on that trip, send us a message and we will answer those as best we can.
Yeah.
And for those that are coming on our upcoming trips, we look forward to seeing you. I will kind of plug our Tri-Adventure. That trip does need to sell some tickets for it to stay live. So if that interests you and you're thinking about it, soon will be the time to buy tickets on that one.
Yeah.
So, all right, we will see you guys, and thanks for tuning in.
Have a good night. You just zoomed way in.